All right, guys, I got 99 problems and my sciatic nerve is one, right? So let's talk about it. So if you know me, the last couple of weeks, I've had a really bad sciatic nerve problem to the point that I couldn't even train for 2 weeks. And I'm not the type of person who gets a lot of injuries. So this one was shocking because it put me down. And I had a little sciatic problems before, but it was like never this bad. So I had to really go back and learn. Now, I'm gonna preface this and say that the information I give out is just something I learned in my journey the last couple of weeks. I'm not a chiropractor, not a doctor, not a physical therapist, just a person who had a problem and sought out information from real life specialists. So if you got a real issue, go see a specialist, but you can also use a little bit of information I'm about to give. Sciatic nerve, what is it, right? Sciatic nerve is that nerve that goes all the way down from your hip down to your ankle, right? And it could cause a lot of problems, but it's that one that, like, when you think about it, you instantly want to start like digging at it, right? Because you're thinking, like, most people think when you get a sciatic issue, it comes from the piriformis, which is that muscle that goes laterally across the hip. And you're thinking, well, you could have a piriformis impingement, which is the muscles kind of impinging on top of that nerve, which cause issues, which chances are could be the problem. But one thing I've learned about sciatic nerves is that other issues that could be the culprit, right? One, your back. Like my chiropractor said, I probably had a bulging disc or some type of herniated disc. We didn't do a MRI, so we're not too sure, but that is a leading cause of having sciatic problems. Another one is tight hamstrings, right? Just that tight muscles is really pulling on the nerve and those muscles around that area. And also that hip flex muscles were kind of superset with the tight hamstrings. So what are the couple things that I've done to help me recover from my sciatic nerve problems, right? I give you 3 exercises. First one, start out at the beginning of the morning. As soon as you get up, try this. So a lot of times we get up, we wake up in the morning, first thing we do is this. And we learn that's really bad for the back, right? It is already putting flexion on the back, which if you're having back issues, your doctor's gonna tell you, try to resist bending at the waist. So, even like doing deadlift exercises, probably not the best. Or even picking something up off the ground, probably not the best. A lot of times we tell you when you pick something off the ground, you have to bend your knees, right? Save your back, especially if you're having back issues. So instead of coming up like doing a sit-up, try rolling over, right? And getting a couple of these. Stretch out that hip flex muscles, okay? This is actually how you stretch out the back. Most of the times, when I started stretching out the back was bending at the waist. It's actually this way. That's the best way to stretch out the back. So really, if you can start out the day with that, be great. Another one is I think in yoga they call it the pigeon, right? So what you do is put your knees in the middle of your chest. You don't really have to go too far over. You can do whatever makes you feel the best, but really just right in the middle of the chest and just kind of lean into it. But when you lean into it, almost chest forward. Don't start arching at the back and getting here. Try to drive your chest into it. You can finger walk and be right here as your head is up. Almost try to put your forehead down, right, on the mat, or your nose down on the mat, but having a neutral spine, right? So I'm not like here. I'm more like here, right? That does hit the piriformis and all those glutes muscles that help loosen it up if that was the issue, right? Like a piriformis impingement. Another good one is, especially hitting the psoas muscles, right? Putting your leg over your knee, and probably put your foot against the wall, okay? And then pushing here. If you don't have a wall or something, you can put your foot down, you can still get it. But when you get right here, it really hits that area. But make sure when you're doing this, try not to tilt your hips. Keep your hips and your core tight, right? So those are 3 stretches that I've been using early in the morning, before I work out, after I work out, and sometimes before I go to bed. But I also want to show you 3 apparatus that I like to use before, during, and after my workout to help, once again, increase the flexibility, increase my flexibility, but also secure my core. What is your core? Anything that helps support the spine and the hip, right? So I don't want to add more stress to my back and my hips and around those areas while I'm already hurting. But I also want to keep training, right? So I got to be smart. So one of the things I like to use is this waist trainer, right? And I like to look at it as like, when bodybuilders and weightlifters and powerlifters use a weight belt when you're lifting heavy, right? I can't use a weight belt when I'm kickboxing, doing jiu-jitsu. It's too thick, it's too rigid, okay? But on the same time, I can use a waist trainer, a nice solid one, wrap this around my core as tight as possible, and it gives me a little bit of back support as I'm like doing these rigorous workouts to put me in very precarious positions, right? So not only that, of course, you see the sweat, we just finished training, but you see how this also helped me get an extra little sweat. You know, I got some flub, you know, to work on. So this helps with that. So it's killing two birds with one stone. But this has definitely helped support my spine and my hip. Another one I like to use is this chirp roller, right? I know a foam roller is really awesome, but I like this because it really kind of isolates the spine. So, and it gives me some really cool stretches that I love to use. So when I'm here, once again, I get here and I could just go up and down my spine, hold it, especially for those tender areas. I hold it for about 30 seconds. And this is a cool core exercise. I gotta use my core to keep my body weight up. But another one I like to use, hopefully I don't get out of camera here, is I like to roll so I can just lean all the way back and just relax and just let gravity and my body just work with each other. And this leg, okay, this is so good for those hip flex muscles, so good for those spine muscles. This is awesome and good for your breathing too. Just relax and breathe into it. Okay, so I love using my chirp roller. Foam rollers are great, but this one just really kind of hits the spine and your back, and like it really targets that a little bit deeper for me. So that's my recommendation. And there's only like, I bought this for like $49.99, about $50 a Shields. I think it's relatively cheap. Now, if you want to get super cheap, I like to use this belt to work on increasing my flexibility in my hamstring. So a couple of hamstring stretches I like to use, right? Number one I like to use without the belt is like, I would slide my hand down behind my knee, get my left leg straight as possible, and then I'm gonna dorsiflex my foot as I do some leg extenders, right? So like, I'm just flexing my quad, right, to stretch out my hamstrings. When I flex my quad, stretch out my hamstrings, it's called reciprocal inhibition. And just like when I flex my bicep, it stretch out my tricep, right? And vice versa. So as I get to the top, you can see how my hamstring is so tight that I can't fully lock it out. Which is this side, the side I have the sciatic problem with. Compared to when I do it on this side, I could go fully all the way through, no problem, right? But on this side, the side that I have the problem with, this is as much as I can do, right? So it's something I need to work on, because I could tell that my hamstring is giving me problems with my sciatic, or my sciatic is giving me problems with my hamstring. I don't know, the chicken or the egg. Probably someone a little bit more professional could tell me which one's causing the most problem. But another cool tool is using this belt to help hit that, so I can lock it out as I'm pulling on it. So, and then I go as much as I can go. And then I kind of relax it. I like to bend my knees so I can get some blood flowing. And then I try to do it again. Try to go a little bit deeper. Hold it for a little bit of time, about 30 seconds. Then once again, I flex my knees to relax it. And then I try to go into it a little bit deeper. So using your belt is another cool tool to help loosen up the hamstring. So recap, there's a lot of cool stretches you can do, even at the beginning of the morning, as soon as you get out of bed, or better yet, as soon as you wake up, before training, after training. There's other things you can use during training that can help support your spine and your back, especially if you're having issues. And a lot of other stuff you can use after training to help you recover. I also got an inversion table that I love to use. That I just float backwards, I lean on it, and I just let the gravity just decompress my spine. So I'm getting a little bit older, so I can't keep thinking I'm 20 something years old that I could just do whatever I want to do and it's not going to cause me problems, because it is. So I got to take care of my body. Anyways, if you like the information I put out, You know, like, subscribe, leave a comment. If you got any questions, I try my best to answer it or point you in the right direction. But once again, if you're having real issues, try so many things, but also go seek out a specialist. That's all I got. Victor and May, hard work, dedication.